So you may say, well, I have the education, I have the degree, I have the resume, I have the skills. I don't understand why these big opportunities are not coming to me. So this is what happened to you. So you bachelor's, master's, you work for this job, you work for this next job, and then how did the opportunity come up for the MBA?
So the CFO of the previous company that I worked with for 7 years, she left to have a period of rest. But when she got back in the workforce, she became the CFO of an MBA team. And so there was some reorganization, and the MBA team needed a finance director who could work the finance side, but who could also be on the operations side and kind of be a point of contact between the front office and the finance team. So they were looking for the skill, but also a personality who could mesh well with both. And she thought of me. She looked me up on LinkedIn and sent a message.
I really want to reach through this camera and just grab you because you just said something so key. You weren't just qualified on paper, because the reality is when you're going for these promotions, if you want the corner office or you want the next level, you have to embody the next level. As I often say, people don't believe what you say, they believe what you embody. That means people don't believe what they read, they believe what you embody. So they can read, you have master's, doctorate, PhD, all these things, but what do you embody? Do you embody the position? So when it came to Octavia, they could feel, okay, you have the resume clearly. You have all of these skills, but you also have, which is a key that I'm talking about, soft skills. People underestimate how important soft skills are, even for her working with me. Octavia is the point of contact for everything. Everything that has to do with our business, she is the go-to person. And I trust her as that person, not just on paper. I trust her to be able to have an intelligent conversation. I trust her to be able to represent me well in my presence and in my absence. And I told her this recently because I wasn't able to be on a call and someone was getting ready to write a few very notable articles for me. And she was saying, and I could just say this now, of course, but someone wanted to write a Forbes article about me, which you may or may not be seeing soon. I wasn't able to be in the meeting. And I told her right before the meeting was about to start, I said, I need you to represent me in this meeting. I need you to be the one that can talk on my behalf to the Forbes liaison because I know that you will represent me well. And that is huge. So for her to be, and I know she's probably about to bust out crying once we're done, but for her to be trusted, 30 years old, she can't speak. Are you okay? Are you okay? No, I'm serious. When I say I trust her, like, I literally do trust her. And trust is a huge word for me. And she knows that. Trust is such a huge word for me.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I trust her skill, her expertise, but also who she's grown into. So, okay. We gotta give it. Prior to getting this invitation to apply for this MBA financial director job, correct?
Financial director.
What was your salary before then?
My salary went from 40,000 to a little bit over 50,000. So it was maybe like 55,000
Okay.
at that time.
At that time. So 55,000. All right. Have this 55,000. So walk us through the interview process.
So she reached out to me on LinkedIn, and it honestly sat there for like 2 months because I created the account, but I wasn't actively seeking a job. So I never like checked it or updated it or anything. And I ended up checking the account and I was like, oh, wow. So I reached back out to her and she asked me, can you come next week just so that we can talk about the position?
Wait a minute.
So the position stayed open for 2 months, which is a whole.
Have you ever told me that?
I've never told you that.
The story gets crazy and okay. So for 2 months, they didn't fill the position.
It was not filled.
Wow. She asked, could you come the next week?
And she did, and I told her absolutely. And so I came to what I thought was just sit with her and have a conversation about the job expectations, but I was ready because we had done the corporate dress module.
Okay, so this comes to a lot of the story. Octavia was one of my, and still is currently, FWA students. And for those of you who don't know about FWA, it's the first and only online personal development and etiquette academy for high achieving Christian women. So these are the types of women that FWA was attracting, corporate women who really want to advance. So in FWA, we have 5 schools. Identity school. We didn't have identity school back then. This was 2019.
2019.
So now we have identity school, but we've always had image school. And I was really giving them their corporate look, just templates for them to step into their next level. I always say every new level demands a new look. So when you're going to the next level, taking your look to the next level is very important. So we have identity school, we have image school, you all's favorite, hygiene school. Hygiene school is a fan favorite. And then we have social graces school, where you really learn how to build relationships. And then our last school is our public speaking school that we just added this year. So, but in image school, you knew how to dress for the interview.
I knew how to dress for the interview, and I went in there. Even though she said it wasn't an interview, I still treated it like one. And it was very good that I did, because it ended up basically being an interview with her finance counterpart, and the HR lead.
Oh.
So it was like not an interview, but it really was an interview.
Right.
And so that's how that went. And then they asked me at the end of it, can you come back in 2 days to meet with the president of the team? So
wait, what?
So this is who I actually worked for. So my office was in the office for the president, because I was the point of contact between basketball operations, which is where the president is, and the finance team. So it was a very unique position. I was the finance director, but I worked closely with the president. And so this is who most of my communication was with.
So you had that interview. You went back 2 days later.
2 days later.
And I'm guessing you blew everybody out of the park. But then you did something that I teach in social graces school. And I believe that in our generation, people have gotten away from this. But this is the one thing that Octavia was already qualified, and they obviously already liked her. But then she did this one thing that just secured it for her. And what was that?
I did handwritten thank you notes for each person who took the time to sit with me during that interview or questioning process. And I remember that the president, he specifically said to me after being hired, he thanked me for that. And he was wowed by it, because he said, no one has ever done this. And so thank you for taking the time to do that. So I sent a handwritten thank you note to all 4 of them. But he in particular, and he was the ultimate decision maker, because I was working directly under him. He thanked me for doing that.
Wow. That one simple thing. In social graces school, they have a very specific script that I outlined, which I can't tell you because you're not in Feminine Woman Academy, but a very specific script and outline that makes it a no-brainer to be able to send these thank you notes. And I always say excellence is in the details. It's in those small things that you do that just pushes you over to becoming the obvious choice. So if you're ready to become the obvious choice in your career, whatever the career may be, I believe that Feminine Woman Academy may be the place for you. And you will know immediately. Now, we don't take everyone. We really run it a very boutique style agency. So we really believe in a small group of women to really show up and serve them. Think department store versus your very couture boutique. We are not interested in quantity. We're interested in quality, not just the quality of the curriculum, but also the quality of the women that we allow inside FWA. And so the first step for you would be to do this, is to go to the little description box and you'll see the Life Makeover audio series. Listen to all 8 episodes. In episode 2, you'll hear from Octavia and I again But it's really important for you to realize this. Even though it's for Christians, I always say this is not a ministry. People often confuse anything that says Christian with ministry. This is not a ministry. I consider this a high-level educational curriculum, such as any college or university that just so happens to also be Christian, to make sure that everyone who's a part of that community holds the same values and morals. Because let's just be honest, a lot of people can teach you etiquette or personal development or even femininity, but not all femininity is laced in scripture. And the type of women who are attracted and a good fit for this program are very high achieving women, but also those who are rooted in scripture and want to truly be transformed also in personal development, etiquette, and feminine leadership, but never steering away from who they are in their Christianity. I'm so happy that you were able to tune in, listen to that Life Makeover audio series, and also Feminine Woman Habits book.
Yay.
If you don't have that book, okay, that's another story for another day. But I'm so happy that you're here. I always enjoy spending time with Octavia. We're literally together every single day. But more than that, we are excited about you joining the family. I truly believe that women need community like never before. And we'll be back. I think we should do a part 2.
Part 2?
I think we should do a part 2 about how not only you transformed in your career, but you as a woman.
Oh my goodness.
Do you want that? All right. Maybe so. Talk soon. Bye.
Bye.